Hey guys, and welcome to my short restorative class designed to heal any emotional turmoil that's been going on at the moment. So we'll be exploring some nice hip openers, some nice heart openers and chest openers, all that you can do at home. I will be using some blocks in this class, and if you don't have any blocks, then you can just substitute for anything that's kind of firm. So it could be something that I've done, a big bit of timber, or you could use like big books if you have any, like the old school dictionaries and stuff, if you still have any of those hanging around. You can also use like bits of Tupperware and all sorts of stuff to be this. It's just to help lift you up a little bit, bring the floor a little bit further away from the body, okay, just to help with opening the chest and the heart a little bit and supporting the knees in any of the hip openers. If you also have any blankets or cushions and stuff to sit on, you can grab those. And you can also, I'm going to be using a bolster in class. If you don't have a bolster though, you can just substitute with a rolled towel, a firm cushion, any of that, and that will still work for the props and the poses that we're going to be doing today. So you just adjust as you need. If you do really get into yoga, though, I do recommend investing in some of this kit if you're going to be exploring yin yoga or restorative yoga a lot more at home, because it does come in handy having that support. You don't feel like you've got to switch yourself on as much and turn your muscles on to keep you lifted and supported. But whatever you have to hand, just grab that, get it ready, bring yourself onto the mat, get nice and comfy, sitting on a blanket, cushion, blocks if you need, and we'll get going when you get back. Welcome back everyone. So hopefully you've got your props and you're all set. If you don't have any of the props, you can just do all these poses with nothing. You just might not get as deep. So that's just something to consider. So if you are just starting off, you can take no props at all. Just explore the postures with no support. But yeah, if you want to get a bit of a deeper release, the props and the support do help. But whenever you get set, we're going to get ourselves comfortable first in a seat. And if that's not comfortable to sit cross-leg, you can take a seat for the meditation on a chair. You can also just lie down on your mat, get nice and comfy, put your music on and just settle there. But if you do need a little bit of support in a cross leg, then you're just going to grab a hold of your blocks and you're just going to bring them into a little row here. And this is what you're going to take your sit bones on. So you're just going to bring yourself into a nice comfy seat there. Lifts the hips, reduces the pressure from your lower back. And whenever you're ready, just resting your hands down wherever they feel comfortable. Starting by taking some nice deep breaths into your belly, into your chest, your shoulders. And exhale, just sigh it all out, let it go. Allowing your eyes to come to a close or a soft gaze, just to a spot in the room. And taking as many of those cleansing yogic breaths as you need. Just feeling yourself getting settled. And just being mindful just for a moment of how the body feels today. Checking in for any areas of tightness, any spots of tenderness and sensitivity. And equally checking in for any space, anything that feels open and good today. And not trying to alter anything or change our state. And just noticing, observing, and simply listening to our body. And just taking this time to shift your awareness over into how you're feeling today. Today's class is designed to tackle any emotional blockages, anything that feels like you could let go of it or is no longer serving you. The intention tonight is to just heal ourselves, let all of that go. So wherever you are, during this slower style, if you want to just close your eyes and tune in, then you can. Block out the room and the world around you. As this time is just for yourself. So taking a few more nice breaths here, wherever you are. Just being conscious of how you feel as you go into this stillness, in this state of meditation. And just reminding yourself it takes time, it takes practice. So as we just rest here for our final breath or two, just take a moment to remind yourself of your intention and why you turned up on the mat today and why you were drawn to this class in particular. Just giving yourself that space to acknowledge what your purpose is today. And then as we take a deep inhale, fill the belly, the lungs, the chest. Exhale, audible sigh, and just release anything that no longer serves that purpose. Just let it go. And then blinking the eyes open. We'll get ourselves started with our first pose of the class. So restorative yoga, we hold for 3 to 5 minutes per pose. So it's slower. It's a little bit calmer. So you just set your mood at home. Make sure you've got no distractions. Make sure the doors are shut. So you can just let your head go completely and give yourself a minute here just to stretch your legs out. Give the ankles a little roll. Just move through your body, roll out your shoulders, give them a little open in your chest. And then from here, we're going to take ourselves into a seated forward fold. Now I'm sitting on the blocks, as they're a little bit easier and more accessible. The main pose is going to be a Sukhasana cross leg, easy seat. If that's not accessible for you, then you can take one leg out and take it either long, or you can plant the foot and you'll still get the same benefit of the pose. Working on one hip at a time though, you're not going to be using both. And then I'm going to grab my bolster and use this as some support to rest myself on. If you don't have a bolster though, you can just bring your hands down onto the floor and lean forwards But wherever you are, let's just take a deep inhale, get ourselves settled with our legs. I'll start with this variation just so you can see how it goes. And then if you want to explore the simple cross leg, then go for it straight away. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen through our spine. And as we exhale, we're going to forward fold. Bringing our chest down onto the bolster. Bringing the hands down wherever they feel comfy and wherever they lie now. And just slowing your breath down wherever you are, softening your gaze or even closing your eyes. Let your glutes soften. Now we're going to be here for a few breaths and a few moments. So if you want to take this a bit further into the full cross leg, then you can either take the leg long, which will get more into your thigh, or you can cross your ankles, cross your legs, and take the same pose. So bring that bolster in front and rest your chest down on it. Rest your hands down on it. Bring your chin down, stretching out the back of your neck. And if you don't have any props at home, you're just going to bring the hands down and lean forwards. Take all your weight into your hands, into your sit bones. And as we rest here, taking some deep breaths, breathing deeply into your belly, into the back of your body. As you exhale, just sigh it all out and let it go. Maybe drop the eyes to a close. Just taking this time for yourself. And there's no pressure to go deep. You should be feeling this though in your outer hips, your glutes. So if you do have a bit more space to give, you can always walk the bolster out or your cushion if you're using a cushion. You can even bring forearms down onto it. Resting your belly down, resting the chest down, maybe even taking the arms out and just bringing your forehead down. But wherever you are, just allow that breath to stay smooth, to stay long and calm. And exhale, just let it all go. Any tension, let it release. Whether it's physical tension, emotional, mental. And each time you turn up on this mat, reminding yourself of why you came here. What drew you to this class? Is there something going on in your life where you need to balance out your emotions? Go on a bit of an energetic healing process. As we just rest here for one more breath, wherever you are. And then as you inhale, we'll very slowly walk the hands back, bringing ourselves to a neutral seat again, however you may be. And then we're going to switch the shins around. So we're going to bring the opposite shin to the front. And if you're taking the other variations with the extended leg or the planted foot, you're just going to plant the opposite side out. Okay, working on balance, getting both sides wherever we are. And again, using your bolster, if you need that, hands can come onto the ground. You can bring forearms down onto the floor, onto cushions, whatever you have to hand. And as you inhale, we'll lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to lean forwards, find ourselves in whatever variation you wish to take with your hands, your arms, your feet and legs. You can also just bring the head down if you've got a bolster. Wherever you are, just taking this breath nice and deep, lengthening it into your back body, filling the side of your ribs. Allowing that sound of your breath to just resonate. Taking it nice and slow. Our restorative yoga is so much about restoring ourselves physically, but also emotionally. And to do that, we need to tap into our nervous system. And the best way to do that is to slow our breath, to find an extended exhale. And flowing each inhale into each exhale and back again with fluidity, with purpose. And this is the best signal to our brain that we are in a state of calm. We're in a state of relaxation, so our physical self can also disengage and soften, melting into the poses, feeling that space going nice and deep. Ridding yourself of the idea that you need to look a certain way or feel a certain way during this pose. And just giving ourselves this time just to slow things down, calm our nervous system and come into a deeper state of rest. As we take 1 or 2 more breaths on this side, giving ourselves that time on each side just to slow down completely. Eyes can always come to a close between transitions. Just to give ourselves that space to slow down and to move more consciously and with more purpose. As we take 1 or 2 more breaths here, wherever you are. Nice deep breath now into the upper back. Exhale it out completely. And then inhale very slowly. Going to start to walk our hands back up. Bring ourselves back to that comfortable seat and take the bolster out to one side. Let's just extend the legs long. Give ourselves a little wiggle of the ankles if they feel a bit stiff. And then we're going to transition into a comfy seat next. So finding yourself in a seat, extending the legs long. Now I'm going to go sideways on so you can see. I'm going to sit down. Now I'm going to go on the floor, but if you have a blanket you'd want to prop your legs up on, then do go for it. And we're going to take a caterpillar pose now. So with a caterpillar, you can take a softness to your knees if you wish. So you can just have a little bend to your knee, and at that point you can roll a blanket up. Or if you want something a little bit harder, you can grab your bolster, your blocks even, and take them underneath your knees just to keep that softness to your joint. And you're not going to end up locking out your leg by accident and putting a lot of strain there on your hamstrings. And then with your bolster, we're going to bring that in front and just place it between your legs and between your feet. So this is eventually going to be what we'll rest our head, our chest on, like the other forward fold. So equally, so if you don't have that, then all you're going to do is hold on to your legs, your ankles, whatever you might do. Forward fold there, grab a hold of your feet even, and use no props. So The other purpose, we're going to stretch out our legs, but we're also going to decompress our back body. So getting your bolster in position, if you're using, we'll inhale to sit tall, roll our shoulders back, and then as we exhale, lean a little forwards with the heart. Wiggle the hips out as you go, taking the head onto your bolster, whatever you may use. Allow the head just to drop down though, wherever you are. And you can always take your chest down as well. Stretching out our hamstrings. Now the blocks, they are firm, but they can feel a little hard on the backs of your legs. So no matter where you are, just adjust your props. If you do prefer just the softness of a cushion or anything, then you can take that underneath as well. But the purpose here is to focus on our breath. Stretch out our hamstrings, our legs. Keep a softness to the knees, as we don't want to put any unnecessary strain on our legs in a restorative class. We want to just keep it all soft and comfortable. And this is how we start to go through that emotional healing. When we stress our bodies out, then our bodies can link and hold on to that stress. And often it comes out and transpires as a physical tension in our body, tightness. It can lead to emotional struggles and releases like lashing out at partners, at people, friends, family. When the emotions are out of balance, this is often your sign that something in the body is also out of balance, whether you've got tightness, tension, whether it's hormones and you need to just slow things down to remind your body, your brain that you are calm, you are okay. So you want to just give yourself that time. And this class is purpose for that. It's for giving you that space and that time. As we take ourselves just for a couple more breaths here in this caterpillar, this forward fold, giving our legs that stretch out, giving our arms something to rest on, our head. Keeping your breath nice and deep and just observing where the breath travels in the body. Keeping the breath flowing completely into your ribs, in the front of your chest, the side of your rib cage, and the back of your ribs. As we just rest here for 1 or 2 more final breaths. Taking a deep breath in. Nice audible sigh out through your mouth. Let it go. Taking 1 more. And in your exhale, just release anything that no longer serves you. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift ourselves up and move the props out to the side, whatever makeshift props you are using today, however creative you've gotten. We're going to move the blocks out. We don't need them for this next pose. But you are going to want your blanket rolled up as like a little tight roll, or you're going to want your bolster. You could even use a firm cushion if you want as well. as long as it is long enough to support your entire spine and put your head on. So you want it to be roughly as long as this area here. Okay, and that's just going to give you enough space to rest everything down on. And from here, we're going to take our bolster, blanket, cushion, whatever you're using, just place it behind you. And we're going to sit ourselves in front of it, leaving a little gap just to accommodate for our tailbone, so it's not as intense of an angle there on our lower back. And then the legs can go however they want. They can be crossed, they can extend out long, they can even plant and bring the feet onto the floor if you have any lower back sensitivity already that you need to just be mindful of. But wherever you are, we're going to slowly roll ourselves down onto our cushion, wherever that may be. Bringing the arms out to the side. And start taking some deep breaths here into your belly, into your chest, your shoulders. And a nice exhale out through your mouth. Now at home, if this doesn't feel comfortable because you're too low down, take more cushions. Take more support. Just bring it up and increase the height of this support. And it's going to feel a lot more comfortable. We're moving into the emotional healing now. We've worked on our legs, our hips a little bit. And this heart opener is all about expanding our chest, the front of our chest, our heart, into our shoulders, our pecs. And this helps to restore a balance and flow through into our heart chakra. But it also helps us on a more psychological level, helps us to feel more confident as we stand taller. And I don't know if you're also aware every time you slouch over your device, on your sofa, when you're driving, when you're at work, then you can notice a sudden shift in your emotions and your energy, how you start to feel a little bit lower, a bit more down. And the reason for that is because we are physically closing off our chest. We are rounding ourselves so no one can get into our heart. We're shutting ourselves down, basically. So as we counter this in this pose, we are opening our chest, opening our heart to restore a balance back in our bodies and our emotional self. Feeling a little bit more space, feeling a little bit more open. So we give ourselves 1 or 2 more moments here, just expanding the breath, shifting your legs if you need to. If it feels too much on the hips, on the lower back, and just give yourself that breather. And the firmer the objects that you've got under your back, the more of an opening you're going to get in your chest. As we continue to expand our breath, inhaling deeply up into the heart, the pecs, the chest. And as you exhale, just surrender your body weight completely down into your props, your supports. Closing the eyes if it feels invited today. Giving yourself that space to just soften, to distance yourself from the world outside of your walls. helping us to just tune in to ourselves on a more physical, emotional, and mental giving ourselves that time and that space to just be. And if you've got music on, just enjoying that music. Let it just float around you while you rest in this heart opener. As we just take ourselves here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Taking your inhales all the way up into your chest. And finding your exhales, softening your body and just letting yourself drop away into the ground, into your props. And then on your next inhale, we'll slowly, slowly peel our head off, bring ourselves up into that comfortable seat, however that may be. And we're going to get ourselves ready for our next pose. Working ourselves into a final pose today of a reclined butterfly. Really good emotional releasing pose. But to start with this, we're going to bring the feet together. They can be quite far away from your torso if you need, or from your hips. But if you want to take it a little bit further, a little bit closer, you can. You can also take this with no props if you don't have any props. Then you can just take it into a standard forward fold and just be mindful that your hips may need a little bit of extra protection. So with this, if you do have any blocks, anything like that that you can prop underneath your knees, you can even take cushions, rolled up blankets if it feels better and softer. You can just grab them, place them underneath your knees at whatever height you're kind of needing. So wherever your body is, you can take it all the way up there if that's where you are at today. You can be a little bit lopsided if one hip is more open than the other. So just listen to your body and go with where your space is. And if you don't have any props, don't worry, you can just take it without. And from here, wherever you are, just going to bring myself back on your mat. Make sure you've got some good cushioning there underneath your ankles so it doesn't hurt. We're going to inhale and try and lengthen out our spine. And as we exhale, draw our belly button in and start rounding into our spine, bringing ourselves down into that forward fold. Now at this point, I'm just letting gravity let me get deep into this pose. You may find that's more accessible for you, but if you do want to take any props, cushions or bolsters underneath your torso to keep it a little higher, then you can. All you're going to do is bring your forehead down, chest down, or forearms down, whatever you've got the space for. So if you do have that cushion to work with, then you may just be here, resting, opening those hips. That might be enough. If you have a bit more space, you may just roll it out, go a little bit deeper. And as with anything with props and any practices that require these supports, you want to just play around with what feels best and most comfortable with your body. So that's why it's so nice to do it at home, because you can pause, get more props, you can do whatever to just make sure you do feel comfortable. That's how you're really going to get the benefit of this restorative style of yoga. Wherever you are, just taking some nice deep breaths, breathing deep into your belly, but trying to really locate the breath into the back of your heart. And as you exhale, feel that release of your hips as you melt yourself deeper into that forward fold. Allowing all your focus to be on your breath. allowing yourself just to calm things down in your mind, unclenching your jaw and just connecting each inhale to each exhale, nice and fluid. And you'll find yourself feeling softer, surrendering yourself deeper into the pose, no matter where you are, whatever depth you've got to today. Whether you're using supports or whether you're just letting gravity take you, you just listen and do whatever feels best for you. As we just enjoy the final few moments here in this butterfly. Only really touching on that emotional restoration today, just giving ourselves a little introduction to restorative yoga. And this is your time just for yourself. So don't worry about the clock, the time, or anything like that. Just focus on yourself. You made the step today of just turning the video on, coming to your mat. The least you can do is treat yourself and reward yourself with that time to heal. As we just take one more breath here. And then from here, we'll very slowly inhale and bring it all the way up. Moving your bolster out to the side, bringing yourself into that comfortable seat, however that may be. So just take the knees out to one side, give yourself a breather. Give them a little wiggle side to side, windshield wipe those ankles if they got a bit sensitive and tender. And then from here, we're going to take that into a reclined variation now. So if you want to use the prop, then you can. You can lie back on your cushion, on your bolster, or if you want to just lie down on the floor into a reclined butterfly, then you can. But you want to bring your blocks underneath your knees, your support underneath your knees. And that's going to be your main priority, keeping those hips supported. If you don't have that support, don't worry. You may just bring your hands underneath your hips as you go, just to give them a little bit of extra support. But wherever we are, we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we'll slowly lie ourselves back, shuffling your sit bones as you go. Coming down to a lying down position on the floor. Wiggling out your tailbone, your hips, so that you've got no additional pressure on your lower back. And then bring in your arms out to the side to begin with. Now you can take this propped up on a bolster as well. You can bring yourself up on a cushion, lying back on a cushion or a blanket, whatever you want, just to encourage a little bit more of a deeper heart opening. I'm just going to demonstrate with nothing at the moment because I know a lot of people at home don't have bolsters available or may only have enough props to support your hips. So wherever you find yourself though, just taking a deep breath in to your belly, your chest, your shoulders. And exhale it out completely, just let it go. And then taking an option, if you want here, an additional little variation, we can bring our hands over the head, holding on to opposite elbows, and just opening the chest that way as we bring the arms back over the head. Suddenly feeling a length going from our elbows right down into our armpits, down our side body, giving our entire torso a bit more space. If holding elbows isn't accessible, you can just hold the wrists. If you've got tight shoulders, I also advise just to take this variation, giving your shoulders a little bit more space, creating more of a wider stance there with your arms. Taking 1 or 2 more moments here, just extending that butterfly pose into more of an open variation, allowing all our chakras to realign and restore a balance there. And wherever you are, let's take 1 more full breath into our belly, our chest, and our shoulders. Exhale it out completely and just let it all go. And then returning your hands back, removing the blocks out, planting your feet down, moving anything out of your way for now, making sure you got plenty of room at the side of your body. We're going to take the knees into our chest, give them a little hug here, either hold behind the hamstring or on the knees. And then extending your right leg out to the side, the right arm out to the side. We'll inhale there. And then as we exhale, just slowly leaning over, rolling onto that left hip as the legs go into the opposite direction. Finding ourselves in a supine twist. So your knees will be falling over to the left and your arm will be coming out to the right. Allowing your breath just to travel into your lungs, your chest, your right shoulder. And as you exhale, feeling a little bit more space in your outer hip, on that right leg, that right side. Taking 1 more breath here. And then inhale, bring it all the way back into the center. Switching sides, left arm comes out. And then knees fall over as you exhale onto your right side. And the closer the knees come to the chest, the more deep this twist is. The further away they go, the more accessible it can become. And don't worry if you've got a gap between your knees, that's fine. Just feel the heel and your feet coming together so you have some grounding there. Let the gaze just go wherever it feels comfortable. So we take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then very slowly inhale, bring it all the way back into the center. Planting our feet down about hip distance apart. And bringing the hands out to the side where the palms face down onto the floor. Tucking your shoulder blades under slightly, inhaling there. And as we exhale, we're going to press into the feet, into our shoulders, and lift the hips up as high as they'll go. Take a deep breath in here, breathing deep into the belly. Exhale, let it all out. And then with as many breaths as you need, slowly lowering yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. If you have lower back sensitivity, bringing your heels out to the side, bringing the knees in towards each other, giving yourself a supported Shavasana here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, though, you can extend your legs long, a little wider than hip distance. Allow the ankles to roll out. Bringing the arms out to the side wherever you are. Little tuck of the shoulders just to open the heart, the chest. And allow the palms to face up to the ceiling. Taking a deep breath in here into the belly, the chest and the shoulders. Exhale it out completely, just let it go. And then returning your breath to a natural, comfortable rhythm. Allow the eyes to come to a close. Giving ourselves this chance just to slow things down. Our Shavasana is the ultimate pose for restoration. It allows us to completely get heavy, to soften our body completely into the ground and the earth. Giving us that chance just to fully settle things in. Our muscles to let go completely. So just take 1 or 2 more breaths here. This little Shavasana, just to bring our practice to a close.